Hey, what's going on, gang? I hope you're having a great week. So, we've talked about hundreds of times, over hundreds of videos, training content after training content, training programs, injury prevention, workouts, everything from the half mile to the marathon you can think of, and there's still more coming. But I'm going to pivot today and talk about something else that's an just as important part. And I'm saying this from a coach and a former competitive runner to other coaches and other athletes. Okay, because it's important to hear. It's important to say. And it's up to you to decide whether you want to listen or not. That's your choice. And I'm going to give you an example too. Right? When I was a high school coach, one year we were fortunate enough to have a kid who was top 10 at National Scholastics in the 5K, 5,000 meters, and another kid who was top 10 National Scholastics in the shot put. Okay? And coming from New York, you need a lot of New York tabloids are there, New York reporters, and so on and so forth. They come to the head coaches and talk to them. And I had some of them come up to me and talk about my kid Carlos, who was in the 5K, and my kid Travis, who was in the shot put. And head coaches generally do that. But I personally, and this is just me, but I took the report over to my throwing coach and spoke to him, and haven't speak to him. So, because for a couple of reasons. Number one, if you want to have a conversation about our shot putter, I think it's a better idea to talk to our shot putter coach, our throwing coach, who spends every day with him, who can have a much better conversation than I could about Travis. His name's our shot putter, and it's one of the better shot putters in New York City champ. He's New York State champ. Like, he was very good. So and the fact is, I was happy to talk about Carlos, but I didn't work with the shot putter all year. So I would be depriving Coach Chambers, our throwing coach, an opportunity to get recognized for his efforts. And that, to me, did not sit well, which is why it didn't sit well with me, which is why I brought him over to the coach. There's no fault of the reporter. They like to talk to the head coaches when they know who the head coaches are. I get it. So, but it was important to me to bring him over there and give the recognition where it's due. And why do I say that? Why am I talking about this? Well, I've seen far too many situations. I was having a conversation with my in-laws, too, a night ago over dinner. And my sister-in-law is a coach and cross-country coach. And she's coaching a team, coaching the girls and the boys at high school level. And she just got her team past a rival team at a conference meet or a district meet that is going to enable them to get to go to a banquet and get recognized and so on and so forth. And the opposing coach obviously didn't like that. But what I'm hearing is that, and I've even spoken to her about this too, is that the head coaches tend to be very, very, very ego-driven. They're male. She's a female. And I get it too. With sport comes ego. I get it. Being a former competitor, I totally get that too. But at the same time, he's likely going to go to this banquet and take credit for her work. She did the work. And to me, she should be recognized. Why do I say this too? Well, I think it's important to develop relationships with not only your athletes, okay, because you want them to be able to not only rely on you and come to you and be able to talk to you, but you want people to feel like your training and your philosophy and you're there to be a solution to problems. Right? People want access to that. People pay for this stuff in real life. And you want them to know they have an asset that they can go to and talk to. And the same thing applies to assistant coaches. To me, I want assistant coaches to have the freedom to get recognized. And if they have good ideas, I want to hear them. Okay? And maybe I'll learn from them. And again, I've seen far too many situations where ego gets in the way and power gets in the way. And then sometimes you have good coaches who you might lose to other programs, and they might become head coaches that wind up beating you. So this type of stuff didn't sit well with me the last couple of days. And I don't know if it's gonna happen, but do I think she should go to the banquet and get recognized? Yeah, because she did the work. Okay, and she's also a former competitive runner, All-American competitive runner, former competitive runner, and D1 All-American, and she also is great at connecting with kids, boys and girls, and sharing her insight and her knowledge. And like I said, it's not only important to share this with kids who might be aspiring coaches, but it's also important to share with assistant coaches who are sometimes there. They want to learn from you if you're a knowledgeable coach, and they want to be part of something. And if you deprive them the opportunity, you're not only depriving them an opportunity to get recognized, but you're also depriving them an opportunity of helping your athletes, helping your team get better. So this type of thing didn't sit well. That's why I'm talking about it today. And to me, it's an important thing, being able to communicate with your athletes and your coaches and being able to share your insight and allow them to share theirs. Obviously, you want to have a good communicatory relationship with them first, be able to talk about some stuff before maybe they talk to your athletes. I get that too. I understand. But why pass up on something good? It can help. This is where sometimes ego and greed and thirst for power gets in the way, clouds common sense, clouds the judgment. And at the end of the day, collectively, we're there to help each other get better, help the sport get better. I want to do that. I want to help the sport that's given so much to me get back. I want to be a productive asset and a contributing asset to the sport and to my athletes, right? Whether I'm coaching them in high school or college or online, doesn't matter. That's why I give you my email. I give you direct access to me. It's blackbeltrunningcoach@gmail.com. So that if you have any questions at all about any of my training programs, workouts, anything, you have the ability to reach out to me directly. Send me an email or load them up in the comments. I answer them, okay? Or if you want to do a live stream about something, and whether it's you or you and your coaches or you and your athletes, if you're a coach, we can do that. And especially live streams, because with one question, answer it, sometimes it triggers other questions. And we can have a live dialogue, and we can have a productive conversation, discussion to help you learn and get something. And again, I learned from other coaches as well as I learned from athletes too. Okay? And there are certain situations where it's important to put the ego aside. And so that's why I wanted to bring this up today, because I find it to be a very important part of training. And again, want the athletes to feel confident enough so that they can push themselves and test themselves. And if they don't understand something, they can come to you and ask, right? There's really no bad or stupid questions. That's why I always say you can ask me anything you want on the live streams or in the videos or in the comments, anything you want as it pertains to running. There's no bad questions. I'm happy to answer them. But this situation here, I thought about it the last couple of days, and it was something that I wanted to point across. And like I said, too, as a coach particularly, it's up to you to decide whether you want to listen or not or apply it or not. It's completely up to you to decide how you want to run your program. I get it. But at the very least, I feel like I'm cheating you or cheating your athletes if I don't talk about this, if I don't bring it up. And I don't want to deprive anybody the opportunity of getting better in some way. I want to be able to contribute to it the other way instead. So hope you found this helpful. Hit the thumbs up if you did. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Again, if you haven't done that, just hit that red button, the subscribe button. And if you do, just hit the notification bell too. That way you know exactly when the live streams are coming and what time they're coming and so on. So that if you want to hop on, you can join the conversation. We can have lots of fun and have a great talk. So I thank you all. Have a great rest of the season. I'll talk to you next time.